Hello. So growing up as a kid, I really never thought of becoming a teacher, and let alone like a Christian teacher. And it was never my dream profession as a kid, like to become a teacher. So my dream profession as a kid was computer engineering. And also, I was not born and raised in a Christian family, so there was no reason for me to even think of becoming a Christian teacher. So I was not familiar with this kind of language like back then. But even when I became a Christian, I still wanted to pursue computer engineering. But in God's providence, He did not let me pursue this profession. So I tried, but it did not work out. But there was a certain stage of my Christian life. I believe that was a year after I was truly converted to Christ, because prior to my conversion, I've had attended few Christian churches and Bible studies, but I was not truly been converted to Christ. That I was really so that time I was really into listening to sermons or preaching preaching and Christian teaching the Bible, like Bible studies, and that is where I started developing the desire of teaching, particularly in teaching the Bible. Then I started reading Christian books and listening more to teachings of the Bible. And as I keep doing it, my desire to become a Bible teacher grew. And God's providence also was leading me toward that path. And so before I came to ITC, like my initial plan was to go to seminary to study theology. However, I don't have a bachelor's degree, which is a prerequisite in entering seminary. So my pastor told me about Mintz International Seminary and was trying to help me uh, prepare to enter that seminary. However, it was uncertain. It was not sure. So there was a low probability that I would enter that seminary. So when he heard about ITC, he recommended me to it and encouraged me to apply for it to study here. And that's how I ended up in ITC. I would say it was all God's gracious providence. But studying here in ITC has changed how I view education and teaching. I've come to realize how huge the influence of education is to the lives of many students. How significant education is in shaping the whole being of a person. So I've come to realize that education is not merely for preparing students for their future profession, nor to help students succeed in life. Like, I've come to realize that education is for equipping students with the knowledge of God, like of God's world and His Word, and the skills they need to engage God's world in a way that is honoring and glorifying God and beneficial for others. And so if I were to use a metaphor of who I hope to become as a Christian teacher, I want to be a compass for my students. So a compass is a device that indicates direction. It guides a traveler to get into his destination. So I think of my students as travelers or pilgrims, and I think of Christ as the destination or the treasure that they are seeking. So I believe that Christ must be the end goal of everything. Our desires, our love, our endeavors must be directed towards Him and His glory, for we are created for Him. Because all things are created for Him. So, as a Christian teacher, I want to become a compass to my students. Because I want to guide my students in the right direction and right destination, which is in the right pursuit of success, right use of their gifts and talents, right object of faith and worship, and right understanding of our purpose in life as human beings, and right understanding of who God is and who we are. So this is what I want to become for my students as a Christian teacher. I just simply want my students to know God, their Creator, and His love through Christ, to enjoy Him and to love Him, to serve Him, and to glorify Him.